For a while growing up, I had a limited amount of information on foster care. That was until I had my own experience with the foster care system hands-on. When speaking about the foster care system, two things that many fail to bring up is how overworked the social workers are, as well as how many resources are provided to many of the foster youth, as well as the foster youth that are in foster care and the foster youth that have aged out of foster care. From my experience personally, I had a social worker that had 17 caseloads as well as my own. And whenever she was done with this caseload, she had to go home to her own family also. According to mst.services.com, the shortage of caseworkers the shortage of social workers attributes to the overload of casework that they have to endure. My social worker will often speak on how many times she felt as though she wasn't able to spend as much time with her family because being a caseworker was a full-time job. Yes, she only had one child of her own, but having to deal with the foster care system, it was like having an additional 17 kids. And so many times she would have to take time out with her own family in order to cater to her job, even though her job also felt like an extension to her family. In Kansas, there was an average of 21 caseloads for the social workers. And in some regions, that caseload extended to 26 caseloads per month for many social workers. And for a lot of social workers, this is just way too much. Although social workers are often overworked and spread way too thin, they still try their best to make sure that their children have as many resources as possible. Among these resources are things such as independent living and money that funds college experience, as well as just making sure that children and young adults have money to provide for themselves and to keep a roof over their head whenever they leave the foster care system. The Children's Bureau speaks on the ETV checks, and these checks give up to $5,000 a year to youth to make sure that they are having money to provide a roof over their head and to manage their own expenses. Also included in some of the resources that are provided to the youth is independent living care. And so this care helps youth that are transitioning out of foster care and helps them learn how to live on their own. And for some, it's pretty hard because whenever you're leaving the foster care system, that's all you know. So the independent living care shows them different things that they need to learn, such as budgeting, such as how to find jobs, how to write a resume, how to how to apply for housing. And these are all skills that a lot of the youth need because they don't want the foster care system doesn't usually want their kids to just be out there without any help if they can help it. Usually something that plays a part in this is the social worker that is provided to the youth. In conclusion, I feel as though there is a lot of misconceptions about foster care, and sometimes it makes it seem as though being a caseworker is very easy when indeed it is actually very hard. And then it also makes it seem as though foster care get no support, but they do get some support, but I still feel as though they need more support than what they've been given, which is another reason why I feel like the foster care system needs to be able to spread the casework out a little bit better so that the caseworkers won't be overworked and that they can help their foster care youth as efficiently as possible.